Alright, I was talking to somebody a while ago, and I've been thinking about it since. Because I don't know if we necessarily agreed. So, if you make a really big mistake and it affects a large portion of your life, how should you feel about that? Because I think it just didn't. I think like that does come down to philosophy. You know, like are you stoic? Are you do you look for the good in it, or do you rage that life treated you that way? You know, like, but overall, like in an effectiveness, viewpoint, an effectiveness for your life, and to diminish the length of impact of this negative thing had on you, then you can say that there must be good ways to deal with that, to process it. Because you can't just like, I'm going to forget that bad thing happened. Because then not only is there nothing to learn from that, but then a large portion of your life just kind of vanishes down some sort of black hole. So I think that if something happens in your life that's negative, you have to learn that. You have to see that as a lesson, and however bad it affected you in life, you have to look at that as the payment, and like not the payment that was demanded from you. I think it was the payment, the cost that you internally that you had to pay in order to learn this lesson. If it could have been learned cheaper, if it could have been learned with less of a problem, then it would have. Like if like when you put your milk in the refrigerator and then one day you go to pour it in the last bit of your cereal and the milk had gone bad, so not only do you not have any milk, but now you don't even have any cereal. That's what it cost you. Like you missed one breakfast to learn that lesson. And I think some lessons have a bigger internal price tag. And I think that sometimes when things go bad in our lives, we have a kind of a premonition. Like almost everybody, if you ask them, like, did you kind of feel that might go wrong? Or did you kind of feel like, at one point in time, were you kind of suspicious? And everyone says, like, no one says, I thought everything was perfect, right up until an utter disaster. Like, everyone says, like, I did have a kind of feeling, or I thought this was a red flag, or this did worry me, but I was hoping for the best. I think, on one hand, it's like human nature to consider those things, but on the other hand, I think we're a lot more perceptive than we give ourselves credit for. So, guess what I'm saying is, if something really bad happened at some point in time, that's either what you needed to learn to prevent that bad thing from happening ever again, or if say something bad happened from out of your own control. Like, for instance, there was this person that they were in a car accident and they broke their back, and their whole life, well, they were I don't know why I'm dodging around who they were. They were an Olympic athlete, and here we go. And I think that I can't remember what they were. They were an Olympic athlete, and they were paralyzed. And what they did is they went to college to teach in college. They became a teacher. They became an instructor. And you could say, like, well, something happened outside of my control. And it's like, well, then what did you have to learn? What coping skills or method of processing, or what did life handed you something that required you to dig so deep that you had to recreate who you were as a person, and you came to the conclusion that you were going to teach in college, and you did everything that you could, everything that it took to pull that off. So, because I mean, she could have just said, like, I'm done with this. She could have just said, like, life destroyed my hopes and dreams. I imagine, I mean, no, who would have judged her? But instead, she's like, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to be good in this circumstance. I'm going to excel no matter what my physical circumstances are. I'm going to excel. And she did. Oh, hi, now we can see each other. How you doing?